Okay, my name is Govind. I'm a German teacher. I've been working in the German language for almost 20 years. I was the head of the German department in a German company, and I was responsible for recruiting, training, and translations. I was basically recruiting students of the C1, C2 level, and the company I worked for had native Germans. So I was responsible for even speaking in German with them and helping them to adjust with the program that we were working for in this German company. I worked many years with Germans also in development projects. Okay, so there are many German organizations in Germany working not only in the economy that we know, but they also work in a lot of social development projects. Okay. Some of these organizations, they are dealing either in the education department, like we know the Goethe Institute, that is promoting the German language and culture. And so this is a German government program for the promotion of German culture. But apart from that, there are also a lot of other projects from the German government in the area of skill development. You also have the technical support, German government. So the German government is working with a lot of countries globally, different areas of development. Nowadays, Germany requires a lot of workforces. The reason is because somehow or the other, they have fallen short of the population. And now they realize that they are requiring people in almost every area of economy, you name it, from the lowest level of workforces, like technicians, delivery, supports, you have the DHL, or you have Amazon. Okay, you have all these type of people who are required from that level. Plumbers, technicians, you name it. Okay, so they require from that level right up to this very professional level like medical, engineering, IT, and all these type of professionals. One of the biggest problems in Germany is that they speak only German. So any person who wants to go to Germany, it's mandatory that you have to know the German language. Okay. Now, it depends on the job profile. They would require students to have a minimum level of the German language. Like for instance, if you are required in the area of plumbering or delivery or, the slow level job profiles, they require up to a level of A2 and A2 level of German language. Now, they have a lot of other education programs which are called career-related educations. For this particular profile, they will require anything up to like a B1 level of the German language. Now, if for a higher position job level, for example, if you are on the level of, say, a manager or, somebody who's actually responsible for, for directing candidates or your employees, then you require at least up to B2. Okay. For the higher levels like doctors, higher level, medical level candidates, you will require a level of C1, C2. Now, what's A1? What is A1? What is A2? What is B1? What is B2? In an A1 level of language, you can just about, have some very basic dialogue conversations like, where can I find this? Where can I go here? What can I do? Okay. So for an A1 level, a person can just about know like directions. Where can I go? Where can I find this? Okay. For that, you require to learn the A1 level of the language. Basically, it's around just nouns. Okay. Now, in English, if you're talking about grammar, if you're talking about nouns, then normally the articles we use are just whatever it is. Okay. But in German, if you're talking about nouns, you have almost something like 50, 60 articles. Okay, so you can imagine how complex it is. Okay, just in the A1 grammar. Okay, in the A1 grammar, you would know something about nouns, the pronouns, the prepositions, which means that it just takes you around nouns, basic verbs. Now, when you talk about A2, This will help you to actually make reasonable, fully completed sentences with subject, verb, object, and you will be able to understand more of German. Okay, for instance, get some information. Okay, you could probably work on a level of job which you can, just read some normal instructions. Okay, but Germans, they require at least up to B2 level. B2 level. Now, they have started some programs which are called the Ausbildung. Now, what's the meaning of Ausbildung? Ausbildung means it's basically a career-related education. So, students will have to have a dual type of an education. It's a 3 days working program with a 2 days education program, which you have to go to a particular career-related institutions. Okay, and you are entitled to 2 days a week holidays, but normally it doesn't work that way. Okay, so for this Ausbildung level of education, a candidate would have to have at least up to a B1 level of German. Now, B1 level of German means a student should be in a position to understand subject-related, basic subject-related language. So if I'm talking about, say, in the area of a waiter, for instance, or a cook. Okay. Now, in this profile, it's not so simple that you just go and start working as a cook. You have to have an education. There are examinations. So this Ausbildung program is a 3 years program, at the end of which a student has to do an examination. So to understand the courses there on a B1 level, you need to have, that level of language which they say is at least B1. The B2 level will entitle the student, to understand a normal newspaper. A normal newspaper has different topics, okay, a mixture of topics, which means that a candidate will be in a position to at least understand the content of a normal newspaper. Okay. Now, when we talk about the courses that we offer, okay, here we have the Goethe education system. It's authorized German government institution, which is looking to the area of certifications. So here in India we have the Max Müller's Bhavan, which is the German government authorized institution, and they will certify you in the level of A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, whatever it is. But nowadays we have other upcoming institutions which are almost the same as the German government authorized examination certifications, and they are the TELC, okay, and then you have what is called the OSD. Now, these are all actually German government-related education programs, okay? So there is not much difference between all these different examination institutions. It's just that the Goethe examination certifications are restricted to Germany because this is a German government undertaking. Now, the TELC, it is a pan-European. Okay, it is a pan-European German language program, which means that if you want to work in Poland or you want to work in whatever other European countries like France, Italy, Spain, okay, then you have a pan-European German language program. Now, there is another examination center which is called the OSD. It means actually it's OSD. It is a in German, in English we call it Austria, but in German it's called Österreich, okay, so they have their own examination certifications, and so you have 3 of them. So any one of these 3, are, are valid if you want to produce a certification, okay, for your languages. Now, different institutes have prepared various programs for learning German. I follow a pretty technical material and a technical method of learning German because you see the Germans are very technical in their way of looking at things. Okay, Just we know the Germans are very technical when they look at any automobile or any technical instrument, okay, or equipment. They want to know the technical details of these instruments. In the same way, they have even prepared a technical method of learning German. And what is this technical method of learning German? In a sentence, they will just put one word. Okay, the teacher comes, the child plays. Okay, this type of very basic subject and verb related sentence. In English, we call it incomplete simple sentence. Why? We don't have an object. We just have a subject and we have a verb. Okay. So that is the first lesson that students will go through, just the subject, noun, and a verb. Now, as you progress in your grammar, then you will see that this material will take you through the first word in a sentence, the second word in the sentence, the third word in the sentence, and so on. And with this technical build-up of the sentences, you are actually already speaking German. Now, in the A1 level, it is expected that a candidate or a student should know at least all the types of basic questions, like who is that, what is this, where do you go, how do you get that, what is the time, and so on. So these basic questions are all covered up in your A1 level. Okay. Now, when you go into the A2 level, okay, it's all around verbs. Okay, tenses. Then you have the German versions of verbs. Okay. Then you have conjunctions. It goes into a high level of grammar. And so in the A2 level, a student should be in a good position to, actually read text or something. So we take you through the technical structure of the A2 level. All right. Now, although you have syllables, okay, where students have to cover up a certain area of grammar, a certain area of language, but the examination centers have made the examination so simple that it's almost difficult for a student to fail. Okay. Of course, it all depends on the method of teaching, the person teaching you, even the effort that the student puts, okay, acquire the language, because you see, the foreign language, whatever language you learn, okay, is difficult, is extremely difficult. But you cannot go by just this 1 hour every day, that the teacher will teach you, or 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever it is, okay. The student has to put in enough of hours of self-work, which means that when he or she goes back home, they should start working with the content that they have just been taught. Nowadays, it's really simple to acquire any foreign language, irrespective of whether there is an environment or however difficult it will be. Why? Because you have all this on the net, okay? You have the YouTube, audio, video app, links, radio, you name it, everything is there. You have translations, you have the Google Translation app and numerous translation apps, okay? And in fact, when I am teaching, say, students from Kerala, they don't understand English very well. So I use the Google Translate from German to Malayalam. So I type everything in German and it's translated into Malayalam. The same thing I'm doing here in Hyderabad. Okay, I use the Google Translate. I put all the content in German. It's all translated into Telugu. All right. So even if I don't speak any language, I don't speak Telugu, I don't speak Malayalam, I don't speak Tamil, but through the Google Translate, almost 95% of whatever we teach, especially on the basic level, okay, you can easily understand what is being taught. So there's nothing difficult nowadays, okay. It's important to get a good teacher. It's important that you have a good method of at least acquiring the level of German, okay. Now see, if for instance we are going to a country for job, all right. Now it depends on the level of job. If, for instance, it's just basic manual work, whatever it is, you don't require very high level of German. Okay, but that may be a catch, because a lot of the students who go, especially to Germany, because we are dealing with students who want to go to Germany, then there are students who go there for education programs. Now, in the education program, the German government has offered candidates the English medium of education there. But the Germans, they don't really speak English as good as, say if you go to the UK. Therefore, firstly, this is a big disadvantage. They will literally translate from German into from German into English and try to teach you, in the way they have translated into English. Okay, but the thing is that it's very important for a student to get maximum amount of German. Okay, because although they say that, oh, it's not necessary, you have you have a B1, B2, but the challenges arise when students go to Germany, and then suddenly if they want to apply for a job, then everywhere it will be mentioned minimum B2, minimum B2, minimum B2. Okay, I know a lot of students from Andhra Pradesh, Telugu students, who have, or even employees, okay, working for a lot of IT companies, they had moved to Germany through the company. Now, internally, since all the work, instructions and processes are in English, therefore, a lot of students did not make the effort of learning German because internally, all the communication was in English. The problem arose the moment their contracts were finished there and they wanted to take a job in another company. Then they had problems. Because I have a lot of students, they say, sir, I'm staying in Germany for the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, okay, but I don't know German, all right. Then they realize that trying to start to learn German later, it becomes a big challenge. It becomes a big challenge. Therefore, if students, if they're already in the initial stages, in the beginning stages, they are able to acquire good knowledge of German language, okay, it will be a big advantage for them if they go to Germany. German learning in Germany is also free, all right. But I have a lot of students, Indian students, who are learning with me German, okay, in spite of them being in Germany already. They are already in Germany, but the reason why they learn from me is because, like I said, okay, learning from Germans, okay, through English, it's not so very easy, okay. Now here, when we are teaching German, we are using English as a supporting language. Now, if a candidate or a student's at least knowledge of English is good enough, it's easy for them to understand, any foreign language, okay? The base is all English. And therefore, I would always suggest to a lot of students who are attempting to go to Germany and to learn German, at least they should have a good base in English, okay? That means grammatically, a good knowledge of English. Now, why do I say that you need to have a good grammar base in English? Because all the language teaching, whatever you learn, especially in Europe, be it French, Italian, Spanish, the teaching methods are all based on the English program. Okay. Now, just as we have in German A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, like I said, it is a pan-European education program. All the languages, even if you're learning English in the UK, they have the same level of A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, even in English. So that's the same thing for French, Italian, Spanish, whatever it is. If you're going through a program to learn Spanish or Italian, then you have to do this A1, A2, B1, B2. Okay, so it's very important that for students who want to go to Germany, that they try to maximize on the level, okay, of certifications. And since in Germany, a minimum mandatory level is B2, okay, it's better that students complete at least a level of B2 before they plan to go to Germany. All right. Now, why are people looking at Germany for jobs? The reason is because of the social benefits that Germany offers. Okay, there are, as a student, you have traveling free. Okay, there are other benefits. Okay, in Germany, that's why a lot of people are choosing Germany as a destination, either for further studies or for job purposes. Okay. And I think a lot of students are comparing the salary offered, okay, in Germany to the salary offered in other countries, whether it's Australia, US, UK, okay. And they see that the German companies are offering comparatively a higher salary than the US and UK. All right. So that's the first reason why, I mean, a lot of people are attracted to go to Germany either for studies or for jobs. Another reason that I personally think that it's important that you know more languages, many languages as possible. Okay, so if you can, with your German learning, if you can also add other languages, French, Italian, Russian, whatever it is, okay, that's a big advantage, okay, in Germany. If you, apart from your English, you know German, you know another language, okay. So I think these are the benefits of working in Germany, studying in Germany. We offer you probably the best German language program. I know a lot of students who have failed, okay, from different institutions, even the Goethe language programs, and they come to me or to us, okay, and they have to go through the beginners level A1, A2 again, because what we teach, what I teach is very technical German, okay, and it's so effective that students, okay, who come to learn from our program, they see, okay, the build up, the structure of the German language in its grammar step by step. And then they realize, I mean, what German language actually is, what the grammar is, and how simple it is, basically. It's difficult, of course, depending on the teacher, the material, and the methods used. Anything can be easy or difficult depending on the method of teaching. Okay, so we make German learning very easy, okay, because of the materials that we use. I would suggest that any person interested in learning German and interested in going to Germany, then I think that it's best so they decide well in time, because especially from the technical point of view, okay, if you have, say, a technical background or an academic level of your education, one foreign language has now become mandatory. So it's not that people need to learn German only for the purpose of going to Germany. Okay, German is everywhere. Okay, you go to US, they have German technology there. You go to Japan, they have a German technology there. You go to Brazil, you know, they have German technology. So with the knowledge of German language, okay, it's you have a better chance to get a job even in comparison to the natives. Nowadays, even in Germany, they are reluctant to recruit their own native Germans because these guys don't speak English. Okay, so you'll have the advantage that you know English and German. All right. Now, if you know German and you are in the US, for instance, they would prefer you than to the native people, because natives, I mean, they have limitations. They know just one language. Nowadays, because of the integration of culture, globalizations, today it is necessary for a lot of people to know multiple languages. Unfortunately, we are all dominated by this European and Western countries. Okay, we have to learn their education systems, their technology. Therefore, it's mandatory that we are compelled to learn their language as well. Okay, thank you very much.